we're going to begin this whole shindig uh, with the AFC South. So, in my notes section, I have my overall predictions of who I think is going to, rank here and there and stuff like that. And we're also going to just have a genuine, good conversation about these teams. So, how I'm going to do this is I'm also going to go from the south to the east to the north to the west. AFC first, because why the heck not? Also because the Titans won the first pick and then the AFC. So I am going to grab my notes section on my phone, and we're going to start this magical edition 2025 of the NFL preview series of Time to BS with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville made a few key acquisitions. We're also going to go free agency and draft as key acquisitions. Travis Hunter with the second overall pick they traded up to get from Cleveland. De'Ami Brown, wide receiver from Washington. Patrick McCarry, Robert Hainsey, two offensive linemen from, Hainsey from Tampa, McCarry from Baltimore. The Jaguars also acquired Eric Murray from the Texans, Jordan Lewis from Dallas, and Emmanuel Ogbah from the Miami Dolphins. I am not going to directly say, yeah, sure, Jacksonville should be way better, because the AFC South is a cesspool. The AFC South as an overall whole is a gigantic effing cesspool. But I do think Jacksonville gets a lot better. I don't think Jacksonville is going to be all-worldly great. Now, if we have known anything from, Liam Cohen, the new head coach of the Jaguars, is he loves to spread the ball around a lot of places. And then how long is it going to take until we give, until we stop giving Trevor Lawrence the benefit of the doubt? Sure, he was the number one overall pick. Sure, he was a top-tier prospect. Sure, he was a top prospect. He was deemed as the best quarterback prospect since Andrew Luck at that time. But he hasn't lived up to the expectations, and how long is it going to take until we start, questioning Trevor Lawrence himself? Because I'm sure you can put a small chunk of the blame on Trevor, but also ownership has a lot to blame for why the Jaguars have been successful in nearly 10 years. It's been nearly 10 years since Jacksonville went to the AFC title game against the Patriots. Probably could have won it. Probably should have won it. Of course, we'll never know what happened because, the Patriots BS happened at the time. But there is some hope for Duval. If they're going to get butts and seats, Travis Hunter, Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, Brian Thomas Jr., they're going to get butts and seats over in Jacksonville. They might shock people, but I do think Jacksonville wins 5 games this season. They're going to be the worst team in the AFC South, but probably not by that much. It's just pick your poison at this point if you're the Jaguars, because I really don't know where to put them. They made some good moves in the offseason. Obviously, taking Hunter for second overall really does help. Next up, Tennessee. Tennessee. Aside from Cam Ward, who you took first overall, and Titan fans, credit where credit is due, you are confident. Titan fans, for some reason, are overly confident in your team. Don't know why, but, whatever. I will also say that Tennessee has 2 first-round picks in their offensive line, Pierre Skoronski and J.C. Latham, left guard and right tackle. Kevin Zeitler from Detroit, not a bad move. Dan Moore, good God. If you've seen Dan Moore tapes a left tackle from Pittsburgh, God help you. Tyler Lockett, sneaky good move from the Seahawks. Tony Pollard's still there. Draymond Jones, speaking of former Seahawks. Cody Barton as well, former Seahawk as well. They also signed Xavier Woods from Carolina. Brian Callahan may not be the worst coach in the world. He's not the best coach in the world, but it's one of those where they're basically putting all their eggs in the basket for Cameron Ward. I don't know if it's going to pan out, but I should have flipped the record prediction with Jacksonville, Tennessee. I'm going to do that. I think Tennessee's going to still be the worst team in this division. I think they're going to be 5-12. I think the Jaguars are going to be 7-10. But overall, it's my prediction, so really, who cares? I can flip these whenever I want because I can. I don't know. Tennessee doesn't have a strength. Tennessee doesn't have a weak point. They're just there. They're overall, the Titans are just there, which sucks because you want them to be good. You really do want them to be good. Next up, Indianapolis. Colts. I don't know what to think because now I will also say the acquisition of Daniel Jones makes this a lot more interesting. Last 5 years, they finished 8-9 last year, 9-8, 23, 4-12-1 in 22, 9-8 in 21, and 11-5 in their last time they make it the playoffs. Drafted Tyler Warren, 14th pick, tight end from Penn State. I know Anthony Richardson was their top draft pick at quarterback a couple years ago. The Colts they're in the same realm as Tennessee. They're just there. The Colts are just there. And as much as you want to get rid of them, they're still there. They're like they're like that annoying friend that you had who wasn't really your friend in elementary school, who you just could not get rid of, and this person still thought you were their friend. Even though they were clearly obnoxious, clearly annoying, and clearly showed no benefit to your life at all. They're just there. That's the Colts. And I'm sorry, but I know we could give a lot of the credit to Chris Ballard where credit is due because Chris Ballard's a good GM. Good Lord. But after a while, you may need to look at Chris Ballard and say, hey, buddy, change needs to happen. Otherwise, there's going to be change needs to be happen. You catch my drift? So, it's Colts, I think the Colts finish with the same record as Jacksonville this season. 7 wins, no big deal. And I think you could pretty much guess who the top team in the AFC South is this year. Yes, I still think it's Houston. And weirdly enough, they subtracted some pieces, but they weirdly enough got better. It seems to me, weirdly enough, the Texans got better. They subtracted Laramie Tunsil for Cam Robinson, Laken Tomlinson, and Trent Brown on the offensive line. They brought in Nick Chubb from Cleveland. Not bad. Christian Kirk from the Jaguars in a trade. That's because Tank Dell's out for 4 months, maybe 3, with a torn ACL. CJ Gardner-Johnson, trade from the Eagles, the world champion Eagles. Sheldon Rankins from Cincinnati. They also brought in Darrell Taylor, who's good speed rusher from Chicago. Houston. I think this is just an early prediction. This could potentially be Houston's shot to get to the AFC title game for the first time in franchise history. Would you believe me if I told you that is the case? Houston has never been to the AFC title game. That's crazy. Well, the Texans, the Oilers, different story, but like the Texans should be in serious contention to get to the AFC title game. Houston has really good pieces. Christian Harris, Will Anderson Jr., who got paid. Derek Stanley, who also got paid. What? What, Bubba? What? What? Finish it up later. But D'Amico Ryans can coach. I don't know why they got rid of their offensive coordinator from last season, Bobby Slowick, but maybe because it's just the offensive line probably is going to get better. Cam Robinson, Trent Brown, and Lincoln Tomlinson really do help, but I think Houston wins the AFC South at 12-5 record. They're probably going to get the 3 seed, but if Houston's going to overtake teams like Baltimore, like Buffalo, like Kansas City, their offensive line has got to get better. Their weakest link is the line of scrimmage on both sides. But I will say it again, their offensive line has got to get better, otherwise they're not going to overtake teams like the Chiefs, Bills, and Ravens.